Time bends, love burns, and fate never lets go. Imagine being torn from your life, your husband, and your own century, only to wake up 200 years in the past. That's where Outlander begins. It's not just a love story, it's a journey across time, war, and destiny. One woman's heart becomes the bridge between two worlds, the 1940s and the 18th century. Before we dive into the chaos of Season 7, let's travel back to where it all started. The story opens in 1945, right after World War II. Claire Randall, a former nurse who served in the war, is trying to rebuild her life with her husband, Frank. They go on a second honeymoon to the Scottish Highlands, hoping to reconnect after years of separation. Their peaceful trip quickly turns strange when they visit an ancient stone circle called Craigh. There, Claire watches a group of women performing a mysterious ritual at dawn, an image that will haunt her forever. The next day, she returns to the stones alone, drawn by a strange humming sound. The moment she touches one of the stones, the world spins violently and everything changes. The noise of cars and airplanes disappears. Suddenly, she's surrounded by men in kilts, muskets firing, and chaos. Claire realizes she's been thrown back in time to the year 1743, in the middle of the Jacobite uprisings in Scotland. Confused and terrified, Claire encounters Captain Jonathan Blackjack Randall, an ancestor of her husband Frank. But unlike Frank, Blackjack is cruel, violent, and dangerous. Before he can harm her, a group of Scottish Highlanders rescues her, including a young warrior named Jamie Fraser. Jamie is brave, charming, and carries the pain of his past on his shoulders. Claire's medical knowledge and confidence impress the Highlanders, but they still don't fully trust her. After all, she's an Englishwoman in dangerous times. As days turn into weeks, Claire becomes part of the clan at Castle Leoch. She meets Colum and Dougal Mackenzie, powerful and cunning leaders with their own political motives. Dougal suspects Claire might be a spy, while Colum keeps a careful watch on her. All Claire wants is to find a way back to the stones and return to her husband, Frank, who must be desperately searching for her in the 1940s. But fate has other plans. Dougal eventually forces Claire to marry Jamie to protect her from Blackjack Randall, who's still hunting her. What begins as a marriage of convenience slowly transforms into something real. Claire falls for Jamie, deeply, helplessly, against all logic. The chemistry between them is undeniable. Through battles, betrayal, and passion, their bond grows stronger. But as love blooms, so does danger. Blackjack captures and tortures Jamie in one of the most brutal and heartbreaking scenes of the season. Claire risks everything to save him, proving her love is stronger than time itself. The two escape to France, hoping to change the course of history and prevent the bloody Battle of Culloden. Season 1 ends not with peace, but with a promise of more love, more loss, and more impossible choices. Claire is now a woman living between centuries, caught between two loves and two lives. And this is only the beginning. Blood has been spilled, vows have been broken, and history itself is now their enemy. Claire and Jamie have escaped Scotland, but they haven't escaped fate. Paris, the city of lights, secrets, and politics, becomes their new battlefield. Their mission? To change the future, to stop the Jacobite rebellion before it destroys everything and everyone they love. Life in Paris is nothing like the rugged highlands. The streets shine with wealth, but every smile hides betrayal. Jamie and Claire use charm and wit to enter French high society, hoping to influence Bonnie Prince Charlie, the young, naive heir who dreams of reclaiming the British throne. They try to sabotage his plans by pretending to support him, weaving lies in a world already full of them. The tension between love and purpose begins to grow. Claire is still haunted by her old life, by Frank, by the war she left behind, and by the truth that she can't tell anyone. She also carries the spark of hope within her. She's pregnant. Amidst political games and courtly dances, she and Jamie dream of a future with their child. But the dream shatters. Claire suffers a devastating miscarriage after an argument, and the loss breaks both of them. For the first time, love doesn't feel strong enough to mend what time has broken. Meanwhile, the rebellion inches closer. Despite all their efforts, destiny refuses to change. The Bonnie Prince gathers his army, and the path to the Battle of Culloden, the very event Claire once tried to stop, becomes unavoidable. The air grows heavy with doom. Every look, every whisper, feels like the last before the storm. Claire's world begins to unravel again when she's forced to face the truth. Sometimes you can't rewrite history. You can only survive it. As the battle draws near, Jamie makes the hardest decision of his life. He sends Claire back through the stones to her own time, knowing that she's carrying his child and that he's marching toward death. The final moments of Season 2 are a blend of heartbreak and destiny. Claire returns to 1948, broken but alive, carrying Jamie's child, the living proof of a love that defied centuries. She tells Frank everything, and though he promises to raise the baby as his own, their marriage is never the same. Claire may be back in her own time, but her heart is still trapped in the 18th century, echoing the name of the man she left behind. The season closes 20 years later. Claire stands once more at the stones of Craigh, her daughter Brianna beside her. She learns that Jamie survived Culloden. The man she thought lost to history is still alive, and with that, her purpose reignites. She will go back. She will find him. Because love, no matter how impossible, refuses to die. War ends, but love doesn't. Time has torn them apart. Claire in the 20th century, Jamie in the 18th. Two souls, centuries apart, each haunted by memories of a love too powerful to forget. Season 3 isn't just about reunion. It's about survival, regret, and the cruel weight of time itself. Jamie Fraser walks away from the Battle of Culloden alive, but broken. He's lost his home, his men, his purpose, and the woman who gave his life meaning. Scotland has fallen silent under British rule, and Jamie becomes a ghost among the living. For years he hides, hunted and haunted, until surrender becomes the only way to save others. Imprisoned, scarred, and carrying the memory of Claire like a wound that never heals, Jamie endures, because dying would be too easy. Meanwhile, in the 1940s, Claire tries to rebuild a life she no longer belongs to. Frank, kind but distant, becomes a stranger. Every touch, every smile feels like pretending. The world believes Claire's stories about her disappearance are delusions, but she knows the truth. She's lived another life, loved another man, and no one can understand the ache of losing both her husband and her century. Years pass. Claire raises her daughter, Brianna, Jamie's daughter, while Frank dies still loving a woman who was never fully his again. Decades later, Brianna discovers the truth about her father, and it's through her that Claire's world cracks open once more. Roger Wakefield, a historian and friend, finds proof that Jamie Fraser survived Culloden. For Claire, that single fact is enough. Hope, once buried under decades, bursts back to life. She makes the choice no one else could, to leave her daughter and go back through the stones. The moment she steps through Craigh again, time collapses. The air feels alive, the world older yet familiar. She walks into Jamie's print shop, and the scene that follows is pure magic. Two souls who thought they'd lost everything find each other again. Older, wiser, and still completely in love. Their reunion isn't smooth. 20 years apart leaves scars. They must learn each other all over again. But peace doesn't last long. Trouble follows them across oceans. When pirates attack, Claire and Jamie are swept into a storm, literally and figuratively. Their shipwreck leaves them stranded in a strange new land. America, the land of freedom, danger, and new beginnings. Season 3 ends not with an ending, but a rebirth. The Frasers are together again, not in Scotland, not in France, but in a land where history is being written. A land where their love will once again be tested by destiny, war, and time itself. The message is clear. No matter the century, no matter the distance, love will always find its way home. The sea has calmed, but the storm isn't over. When Claire and Jamie wash ashore in the New World, they don't just find land, they find destiny. America in the 1760s is wild, untamed, and full of promise. yet danger hides behind every tree and every smile. The Frasers are strangers in a strange land, forced to carve out a home in a country that doesn't yet exist. Their shipwreck delivers them to the colonies, a place pulsing with opportunity and revolution. They dream of peace, of starting fresh, far from war and bloodshed. But history doesn't let go that easily. The shadow of rebellion already stirs in the distance, and fate begins to weave its web once again. Claire, with her modern knowledge, sees what's coming, a new war for independence. But for now, she and Jamie build a home, one stone at a time, one heartbeat at a time. They name their land Fraser's Ridge, a place of hope, surrounded by wilderness. It's their sanctuary, their dream, their rebellion against the cruel hand of time. The ridge becomes alive with laughter, crops, and the sound of family. But peace in Outlander never stays long. The couple faces challenges from all sides: settlers, politics, and the fragile line between colonists and Native Americans. Claire, as a healer, builds respect, and fire is coming. The world is changing, and history is beginning to roar louder than ever. On Fraser's Ridge, peace is only an illusion, a fragile bubble floating over the firestorm of revolution. The air hums with tension, and every heartbeat feels like a drum calling men to war. But for Jamie and Claire, war isn't just outside their walls. It's within their hearts, testing loyalty, love, and faith. The season opens with celebration, a wedding. Brianna and Roger finally tie the knot, surrounded by family, laughter, and the calm before the storm. For a moment, it feels like the world has paused, like the Frasers have found something close to happiness. But destiny, as always, doesn't let them rest for long. The drums of rebellion beat louder across the colonies, and Jamie finds himself caught between two oaths: loyalty to the crown that once imprisoned him, and loyalty to his own people who fight for freedom. Governor Tryon demands Jamie form a militia and hunt down the regulators, rebels led by none other than his godfather, Murtagh. It's a cruel twist of fate. To save his family, Jamie must betray the man who once saved his life. The emotional weight of this choice crushes him, turning every moment into a battle between duty and love. Meanwhile, Claire builds her own quiet revolution, through medicine, compassion, and courage. In a world that still calls her a witch, she uses her 20th century knowledge to save lives, even if it means risking her own. But progress often brings pain. Claire's efforts to heal clash with superstition, and rumors swirl through the ridge like wildfire. The fight between the crown and the regulators finally explodes in the Battle of Alamance. Smoke, chaos, and heartbreak. Jamie faces Murtagh on the battlefield, and when his godfather falls, time itself seems to stop. The loss cuts deeper than any wound. It's the price of living between two worlds, the past and the future, duty and heart. Even as grief lingers, life pushes forward. Brianna and Roger struggle to adapt to the 18th century, torn between staying with her parents and returning to their own time. They build a fragile life for their son, Jamie, unaware of the greater dangers creeping closer. The season grows darker as tragedy strikes once again. Claire is kidnapped and brutally assaulted, one of the most harrowing moments in the series. But what follows is even more powerful. The aftermath. Claire's strength, Jamie's love, and the family's unity turn unbearable pain into a symbol of resilience. They don't let darkness win. As the final episode closes, the revolution breathes closer, thunder on the horizon. The Frasers stand together, scarred but unbroken, surrounded by family, firelight, and fate. The ridge is no longer just a home. It's a fortress built on love, loss, and defiance. Season 5 ends not with peace, but with purpose. The war for America is about to begin, and for the Frasers, survival means more than staying alive. It means fighting for the kind of world worth dying for. The storm has arrived, not from the sky, but from the hearts of men. On Fraser's Ridge, thunder rumbles quietly, not from clouds, but from whispers, fear, and blame. The American Revolution is drawing near, and with it, suspicion and unrest creep through every shadow. What was once a haven for the Frasers now begins to fracture piece by piece. The world outside is changing, but the greatest battle begins within. Claire, still haunted by the horrors she endured, struggles with invisible wounds. Sleep offers no peace. Her mind drifts between nightmares and guilt. To silence the pain, she turns to something unexpected, the medicine she once used to heal others. The same hands that saved countless lives now shake as she fights her own despair. But Jamie, ever her anchor, refuses to let her drown. Their love, scarred, weathered, but unbroken, becomes her lifeline through the storm. New faces bring new danger. The Christie family arrives, Tom, his daughter Malva, and son Alan. On the surface, they are devout and humble settlers seeking refuge, but behind their polite smiles lies something dark. Tom is stern and righteous, a man whose faith often feels like punishment. Malva, curious and quiet, grows close to Claire, learning her ways as an apprentice. But secrets have a way of poisoning even kindness. As months pass, rumors begin to twist around Claire. Her healing, her intelligence, her independence, everything that once made her admirable now makes her a target. Fear turns neighbors into enemies, and lies turn friendship into accusation. Then tragedy strikes. Malva is found dead, murdered and pregnant, and the colony points its trembling finger at one woman, Claire Fraser. The shock ripples through Fraser's Ridge like a lightning strike. Claire, framed for a crime she didn't commit, is taken away in chains, while Jamie fights desperately to prove her innocence. The love story that once defied centuries now faces its cruelest test. Every mile Claire travels toward her trial feels like a descent into darkness, where justice is just another illusion. Meanwhile, the winds of revolution grow louder. Armies gather, alliances break, and the land begins to burn with the fever of freedom. Jamie's loyalty is tested once again, torn between the cause of liberty and the safety of his family. But no matter how loud the world's war becomes, his heart remains fixed on one goal: to bring Claire home. Season 6 ends on the edge of war and heartbreak. Claire sits in a prison cell, her name stained, her fate uncertain. Jamie rides to save her, his face set with the kind of determination only love can create. The thunder is no longer distant. It's here, shaking the earth beneath them. As lightning flashes across the sky, one truth remains: every storm passes, but not all survive it. For the Frasers, the question isn't if they'll weather the storm. It's what will be left when it's over. The world is burning again. But this time, it's not just war. It's destiny catching up. The storm that's been brewing for 6 seasons finally explodes into chaos. The American Revolution has begun, and the Frasers are standing right at the heart of it. Cannon fire echoes across the colonies, and the world Jamie and Claire built with love and blood trembles under the weight of history. Season 7 isn't just another chapter. It's the reckoning. Every choice, every secret, every heartbeat from the past now demands its price. Claire is imprisoned, branded a murderer, her faith tested harder than ever before. But if time has taught her anything, it's that the truth always survives. Jamie rides through war-torn roads to save her. A man who's faced death, betrayal, and centuries of loss, yet never surrendered. Their reunion isn't just about freedom, it's about defying fate one more time. But the revolution doesn't wait for love. Battles rage across the colonies. Old friends turn into enemies, and survival becomes a daily fight. The dream of Fraser's Ridge, their home, their sanctuary, stands on a knife's edge. The British crown collapses, the American flag rises, and every victory feels like a wound. Yet through it all, Jamie and Claire fight not just for their lives, but for the promise they made long ago, that no matter where time takes them, they'll find each other again. Brianna and Roger, now parents, face their own test. The stones still hum with power, calling them toward a new and uncertain path. Time travel, once a curse, may become their only hope as the fabric of history twists tighter. Their family's bloodline stretches across centuries, binding past and future in a way no one can fully understand. For them, the question isn't just where they belong, it's when. And while gunpowder burns in America, whispers of something greater stir beyond the battlefield. Secrets of the stones, the mystery of those who can travel through time. And the question that has haunted Claire since the beginning: why her? Season 7 promises answers hidden behind heartbreak, courage, and sacrifice. As war rages and love endures, one truth rises above all. History is not written by kings or armies. It's written by those who dare to love when the world tells them not to. The Frasers have walked through centuries of blood and fire, but their story isn't just about survival. It's about legacy, about how far the human heart will go to protect what it believes in, even if it means standing against time itself. So as the drums of revolution echo louder, and the stones hum with power once more, the question remains: how much will the Frasers lose before time finally lets them rest? Because in Outlander, time never forgets, and neither does love.